गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणा ब्रह्मणस्पता शृण्वन्नोतिभिश्रीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामभित्रयवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ अध पुरुषो ह वै नारायणो कामयतः प्रजा सृजेयेति नारायणात् प्राणो जायते मनः सर्वेन्द्रियाणि च खं वायुर्ज्योतिरापः पृथिवी विश्वस्य धारिणी नारायणात् ब्रह्मा जायते नारायणादुद्रो जायते नारायणादिन्द्रो जायते नारायणात् प्रजापतयः प्रजायन्ते नारायणात् द्वादशादित्या रुद्रावसवः सर्वाणि च छन्दागुंसि नारायणा देवसमुत्पद्यन्ते नारायणे प्रवर्तन्ते नारायणे प्रलीयन्ते ॐ अध नित्यो नारायणः ब्रह्मा नारायणः शिवश्च नारायणः शक्रश्च नारायणः ध्यावा पृथिव्यो च नारायणः कालश्च नारायणः दिशश्च नारायणः ऊर्ध्वश्च नारायणः अधश्च नारायणः अन्तर्बहिश्च नारायणः नारायण एवेदं सर्वं यद्भूतं यच्च भव्यम् निष्कलो निरञ्जनो निर्विकल्पो निराख्यात शुद्धो देव एको नारायणः न द्वितीयोऽस्ति कश्चित् य एवं वेद स विष्णुरेव भवति स विष्णुरेव भवति ओमित्यग्रे व्याहरेत् नम इति पश्चात् नारायणायेत्युपरिष्ठात् ओमित्येकाक्षरम् नम इति द्वे अक्षरे नारायणायेति पञ्चाक्षराणि एतद्वै नारायणस्याष्टाक्षरं पदम् यो ह वै नारायणस्याष्टाक्षरं पदमध्येति अनपभ्रुवः सर्वमायुरेति विन्दते प्राजापत्यगं रायस्थोषं गौपत्यम् ततोऽमृतत्वमश्नुते ततोऽमृतत्वमश्नुत इति य एवं वेद प्रत्यगानन्दं ब्रह्मपुरुषं प्रणवस्वरूपम् अकार उकार मकार इति तानेकधा समवरत्तदेतथोमिति यमुक्त्वा मुच्यते योगी जन्म संसार बन्धनात्। ॐ नमो नारायणायेति मन्त्रोपासकः वैकुण्ठभुवनलोकं गमिष्यति तदिदं परं पुण्डरीकं विख्यानगणम् तस्मात् तदिदावन्मात्रम् ब्रह्मण्यो देवकी पुत्रो ब्रह्मण्यो मधुसूदनो सर्वभूतस्थमेकं नारायणं कारणरूपमकार परब्रह्मो एतदधर्वशिरो योधीते प्रातरधीयानो रात्रिकृतं पापं नाशयति सायमधीयानो दिवसकृतं पापं नाशयति माध्यं दिनमादित्याभिमुखो दीयानः पञ्चपातकोपपातकात् प्रमुच्यते सर्ववेदपारायण पुण्यं लभते नारायण सायुज्यमवाप्नोति नारायण सायुज्यमवाप्नोति य एवं वेद इत्युपनिषत्। सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
गजानना हे गजानना 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 हे गजानना गजानना हे गजानना गौरी तनया गजानना गौरी तनया गजानना गौरी तनया गजानना गौरी तनया गजानना गजानना हे गजानना गजानना हे गजानना हे शिवनंदन जय जगवंदन शिवनंदन जय जगवंदन हे शिवनंदन जय जगवंदन शिवनंदन जय जगवंदन विद्या बुद्धि प्रदायका विद्या बुद्धि प्रदायका विद्या बुद्धि प्रदायका परम निरंजन मूषिक वाहन परम निरंजन मूषिक वाहन परम निरंजन मूषिक वाहन परम निरंजन मूषिक वाहन पर्तिपुरीश्वर गजानना प्रतिपुरीश्वर गजानना प्रतिपुरीश्वर गजानना प्रतिपुरीश्वर गजानना गजानना हे गजानना हे गजानना हे शिवनंदन जय जगवंदना हे शिवनंदन जय जगवंदना जय जगवंदना जय जगवंदना हे शिवनंदन जय जगवंदना हे जय जगवंदना विद्या बुद्धि प्रदायका परम निरंजन मूषिक वाहन परम निरंजन मूषिक वाहन प्रतिपुरीश्वर गजानना प्रतिपुरीश्वर गजानना प्रतिपुरीश्वर गजानना प्रतिपुरीश्वर गजानना गजानना हे गजानना
शिरडी साई द्वारका माई प्रशांति वासी साई राम शिरडी साई द्वारका माई प्रशांति वासी साई राम साई राम साई राम एक नाम सुंदर नाम साई राम एक नाम सुंदर नाम शिरडी साई द्वारका माई प्रशांति वासी साई राम अल्लाह ईश्वर साई राम अल्लाह ईश्वर साई राम पट्टीपुरी के हे भगवान पट्टीपुरी के हे भगवान दया करो कृपा करो रक्षा करो हे भगवान दया करो कृपा करो रक्षा करो हे भगवान शिरडी साई द्वारका माई प्रशांति वासी साई राम एक नाम सुंदर नाम शिरडी साई द्वारका माई प्रशांति वासी साई राम अल्लाह ईश्वर साई राम पट्टीपुरी के हे भगवान अल्लाह ईश्वर साई राम पट्टीपुरी के हे भगवान दया करो कृपा करो रक्षा करो हे भगवान दया करो कृपा करो रक्षा करो हे भगवान शिरडी साई द्वारका माई प्रशांति वासी साई राम
Sai Ram everyone. I offer my humble pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba and request our Lord to kindly preside over this satsang. I welcome all of you for the 20th edition of the Thursday satsang. Thank you so much, Mahendra brother, for the Vedam chanting, and Bharti sister and Prabhya sister for the melodious bhajan. Improvement begins with an I, as quoted by Arnold H. Glasow. What is the one most essential thing in life which helps us progress? Self-improvement is a continuous process, and we need that one thing which aids self-improvement. What is it? Let us watch this video, which is an anecdote from the Vidya Vahini book written by our beloved Swami, and introspect further.
In conclusion, I would state that my son is a very good boy with two mistakes. First is he does not know what his faults are, and second thing is he will not listen if others point them out to him.
This happened in the past, but today, not one son, each and every one is in the same predicament. It has become quite natural for every father to complain thus. Is this the value of the Vidya we claim to have?
From this video, we can see that the son was not ready to accept his mistakes. Accepting the mistakes pointed out, or rather being receptive to feedback, is very essential for our self-improvement. So today, the topic for this 20th edition of SSSVV Family Satsang is learning from feedback. So we have our respected teachers from various schools to discuss about it. Let us now know from Tamim sister about her understanding on feedback. She's a dedicated teacher from the Mahatma Group of Schools, Madurai.
Thank you, Sairam. Let me share my own experience. There was a girl named Orange who was very active during her school days. She participated in all the events conducted at school. Once there was a mega event called Ilakya Mandram, which happens every year at the school level. And of course, this time the girl Orange was in cultural dance. She dances very well. The whole team participated, they practiced very well, and they were ready to perform the very next day. Rehearsal was going on, and the principal was keenly watching it. Suddenly, principal said, not to dance. She looked at Orange and said, not to dance. She scolded her for not holding up the position while dancing. She stopped her from the dance. All the other remaining girls, they danced the next day without her, and they did not win the prize. A few months passed. The school received a new principal, and the same competition was announced in the other zone. So the same team was asked to practice vigorously this time. And the girl Orange, who was omitted earlier, was given a chance this time to perform. They practiced well and they danced happily. This time, they won the prize, that too first prize. What do you think? Any guesses?
Dear sisters and brothers, you could share your answers in the chat box. So Tamim ma'am, what I feel is maybe Orange was very happy to be included the second time. And it was like a positive feedback for her and the whole team. I'll just see if we have some answers here. Brothers and sisters, you can share in your chat box. Why did the team win the second time and not the first time? Do we have any answers?
Any Any guesses?
Any guesses?
Yes.
I have not received any
Okay.
as yet.
Okay,
Okay,
no
sister,
issue,
please
Saira.
share.
Yes, absolutely, as you said, Sairam. It is because of the feedback. The feedback given by the first principal for the first time had changed everyone's mood and their involvement. It collapsed everybody's attitude too. But the second time, the feedback given by the second principal for the second time had boosted up their confidence level, and they danced happily and they won the first prize. So this is the term feedback is the same. The term feedback has its own meaning. Feedback. What you feed, you will get it back. So if you feed positive results, if you feed positive remarks, you get positive feedback results. And if you feed negative remarks, you get negative results. So the term feedback, how it is handled by people, it matters a lot. It doesn't matter like how many years of experience you have when the subject expect you are. Only the term feedback, how it is handled by people, it matters. So one should know how to give and receive feedback. And feedback makes people understand their strength and weakness. People become self-aware as they know their plus and minus. So when we be more receptive to feedback, big transformation happens within us for our betterment. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you to all.
So we have a few answers. I think it was delayed. The feedback must have encouraged them to practice, is what Subramaniam brother has said. And there are a lot of answers where they are saying similar things, where positive feedback has helped them to do well the second time. That was such a beautiful experience, sister. From your experience, I'm reminded of a quote by Lord Buddha. Whatever words we utter should be chosen with care, for people will hear them and be influenced by them for good and ill. So, as you said, sister, whatever we feed, we get the same thing back. So, we should feed positivity if we want to see a positive improvement. Is it not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely.
Now, let us know more about the impact of positive feedback. We have Sister Madhusmita with us, who is a very enthusiastic teacher from Sri Satya Sai Vidya Vihar, Badripada, Odisha. Sister, can you please share your experience on positive feedback and how it has helped you?
Thank you, ma'am. Sairam, everyone. So, as ma'am said, feedback is the process of helping our students to assess not only the students, actually everyone, to assess their performance, identify areas where they are right or wrong in the path to achieve the target, and it also provides them some tips on what they can do to improve in future. So feedback, if I will add, it is a step of learning where everybody can learn from a small feedback given by any person, whether that is known or unknown. So, and I can completely relate with this, as I can remember one of my experience from my childhood, and you all will surprised to know that as now I am a math teacher, but during my school days I used to be scared of math. Means it was like a nightmare to me. Every time while I was thinking about doing math, I was completely blank. I don't know how to start, where to start, and what to do in that. So, but on that note, one thing which I cannot forget, that this nightmare, how I overcome on it. I can remember when I was in 7th grade, I scored only 13 marks out of 40 in an exam. Normally, we were having our monthly exam. So on the first exam, I got only 13 marks out of 40. So while I see on my sheet, it is written that 13 marks, I was completely blank what to do, how I will face my parents, like what to say, because they have a lot of expectation to me to do good in my studies. But by seeing that 13 marks, how can I go in front of them? And I was just staring on my marks, and on the same time, suddenly what happened? My teacher came in front of me. As I used to sit on the front bench, so he stood in front of me, and then he looked at my marks, and obviously my disappointed face, like after seeing the marks, I was completely disappointed and sad too. So at that moment, he said that one statement to me, that is, you are the only one who can change this number 13 to 31. So this statement, when he told me, I was like, definitely, if I will try, why not? I can change this number 13 to 31. That is only the work which I need to do. So later on, I do my work. I was working really hard, and also not to forget my teacher, of course. They helped me. He helped me a lot while doing these extra classes. Means the lot of things what he do to me. That takes me a lot in the math, which really changed my nightmare to my passion, and now it is my profession. So that feedback, what I took from my teacher, I also want to create the same magic in my students' life. Like nowadays, maximum students, some students are really having the same thing, fear of little bit, other subjects also too. So I want to create the love of that subject in my students, whether they will not forget or they will not be scared of doing that. As an example, I can relate in my class, every time while correcting my students' copy, I used to give them little small feedback like how your handwriting is, how you are writing, it is very good, your handwriting is excellent. So one time what happened, I told one child that your letter S should be little bit having longer lines so that you can distinguish between H and N. On the next day, what happened? The same student from his side, he come to me and asked me, ma'am, can you check my letter today, how it is, whether H is okay or not? So it seems that all the students who are there, they want perfection in their work. Every time from the beginning, they want perfection. So how that perfection will be happen, that is completely depend upon that feedback. So I think everybody can take one small feedback also can improve anyone in any moment of life. So that is all my experience, and where I learn a lot from the feedback, and also I want my students to learn from that feedback. So it is all my experience, and it's really wonderful to share my experience with you all. Thank you, Sairam, everyone.
Thank you so much for sharing, Madhusmita sister. From your experience, we can see how a positive feedback and an encouragement from your teacher helped you overcome your weakness and made it your strength. So much so that now you are a math teacher, and not only this, you are now in turn helping your students with positive feedbacks, who in turn would maybe do the same. So here we can observe an exponential trend, as we say, in mathematics, where one positive feedback has resulted in so many more positive feedbacks. And actually, this experience is like a deja vu for me, as I too had the fear of math, and it was the positive feedback given by my teacher which helped me overcome the fear. And now I too am a math teacher. So I can totally relate to you, Madhusmita sister.
Yes.
Mr. Bill Gates, the multi-millionaire, has said, we all need people who will give us feedback. That's how we improve. As teachers, we have more interactions with humans, possibly more than any other profession. So Nand Kishore brother, we would like to know about your experiences on giving and receiving feedbacks and what innovative ways you use. Nand Kishore brother is a very creative teacher from Sri Satyasai Vidya Mandir, Bhavani Patna.
Om Sri Sairam everyone. Thank you, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. So feedback is information given to a person about their performance that guides future behavior. Feedback helps in directing attention to areas of growth and improvement and connecting them with their future learning opportunities. When initially I started teaching in school, uh, so my handwriting on the board was very poor. It was small as well as the writing was going down. Means it was not what you can say horizontal lines. So I got feedback from my students and my teachers also guided me that your handwriting is not straight. So you should write it proper pattern. Then using this feedback, I developed myself and now my handwriting is proper and I'm able to write properly as well as my diagrams are also neat and clean. Then I asked teachers that, sir or ma'am, what are the feedbacks about the students about their homeworks? So they said that students are not completing their homeworks in time. So what I said means I gave them the feedback that using the LEDs, what we have LED TV, then projectors, I guided them that by means of calligraphy, I taught them calligraphy, new methods of writing. So they learned new methods of writing. Then they started completing their homeworks using this calligraphy techniques, and they were happy to learn new things as well as they're completing the homeworks in time. So this was a good effect on the students. Now all my students are completing their homework in time. And then while taking revisions, what I did, I asked few questions. So most of the students were able to say, but some students said that, sir, we are not able to remember things. So what we can do so that we can remember things? So I said them, relate all these things to your daily life or else make stories. Uh, so then I gave them the example. For example, first, while teaching the formation of cation, I said that uh, sodium when loses electron, it forms sodium plus. I related it to the daily life. For example, if I said if a person, if he loses the negative character in himself, he will automatically become a positive person. That is sodium is compared to a person. If he loses the negative character, that is sodium losing the electron, which are negatively charged particles, it becomes sodium cation. That is, it becomes a good person. So in the same way, they were totally interested and they were happy to learn these new things. All the students interest was towards me. Then in the same manner I said them new stories like while teaching period table, it is very difficult to remember all these elements of the period table. So I said them, uh, don't remember the terms. I mean, remember only the elements and make stories regarding them. So I said that the second group of the period table, it was beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, radium, all such kind. So I said that make stories like beta, mange, car, scooter, bap, razi. Like beta was for beryllium, mange was for magnesium, car was for calcium, then strontium was for scooter. So in such pattern, in the same manner, I said them make stories from your side and show it to me in the next day. So almost all the students made their stories and they showed it to me. So it was a nice impact on the students. Now the students are more interested in studies and they're making their own stories. Since I'm also happy to learn something new from their side. They're first asking me if they're able to make it well, quite good, or else they're saying it from their side. Then in the same manner, boron family, the elements were boron, aluminum, gallium, indium, thallium. So I said them, you make their own stories. So some students made the stories as baigan, aloo, gobi in thala. That is the baigan for boron, aluminum was for aloo, gallium was for gobi, indium in thala was for thallium. In same manner, all the students made the stories and the class was also very interesting. Students also learned new methods of learning things, as well as I also got feedback that yes, by means of creating stories, making stories, and relating into daily life, all the students will also be happy to learn things, as well as the class will also be interesting. So next is how should we respond to a feedback? So generally, when we get feedback, we are generally most of the time we used to get positive feedback. So in that case, we are feeling happy. But in some cases, when we get the negative feedback, what happens? We sometimes get depressed that sir is saying or ma'am is saying these things, and we overreact in such cases. So what happens? We should not overreact regarding the negative feedback, and we should not be too happy regarding the positive feedback. We should have a control over it. In case of negative feedback, we should be calm and in the free time we should think about the solutions. Most of the time when we get feedback, we get the solution along with the feedback, And if we can have calmness in ourselves, we can think about it and we can easily find the betterment for such kind of solutions. Then how should we give feedback to the students? In most of the cases, we give feedback directly to the students that this is not good, that is not good. So most of the students used to feel offended. In such cases, in my opinion, what I used to think, we should first praise the talents. Most of the students are having important means good talents. So first we should praise the talents that you are good in these things. Then if you can focus on these things, you can become a more better student. So in such manner, they will also feel happy that yes, sir is praising our talent. At the same time, sir said that we should focus on these things so that we become more a good person in our daily life. Then most important, I used to ask feedback from the students. So students, they used to easily say the positive feedback, but in case of negative feedback, they hesitate to say the negative feedback that sir, your teaching is quite too fast, or your handwriting is not proper on the board, you're writing too small. So what I did, I said all the students that students, using your left hand, write it on a piece of paper and write it using your left hand so that I will not be able to identify your handwriting, and no need to write your names, roll number, nothing. Then they wrote it on the piece of paper and they folded and submitted it to me. So in this manner, I got the real feedback what I needed from their side. In this manner, they said the real things, means what the real feedback was, and I'm learning many more good things from the feedback which I'm getting. So using these feedback techniques, I have developed many good qualities and suppressed the bad ones. In the same manner, we should all learn good things from the feedback and try to become a better person in our real life so that this feedback helps us in learning new things. Thank you, Sairam.
It is truly commendable, brother, how you took note of the feedback given by your students and improvised your teaching techniques and helped them learn in a fun way. We can actually visualize happy faces eager to learn in your class. And you have also seamlessly merged the value content in your teaching, which is truly commendable, brother. Jyotirmai Bharti sister, what is your take on feedback? By the way, she is one of our passionate teachers from Sri Satyasai Vidya Mandir, Bhavani Patnam. Over to you, sister.
Salam to all. Thank you, ma'am, for asking me this question. For me, feedback is an advice or a suggestion. It can be a comment or idea without any judgment. So all feedback helps both the students and teacher to understand and rectify their mistakes. So in the first year of my teaching in the school, I couldn't know how to translate PPT in the classroom. So in such situation, my colleagues helped me. They gave me the positive feedback, and they helped me a lot. After that, I effectively used the SSSVV teaching apps, and eventually I was able to deliver the same topic truthfully now. It also helped me to confidently integrate other physical teaching apps like the models of skeleton, heart, kidney, etc. As we know that every object has its importance in our life, so I faced difficulties to teach lower grade students maths practically. So in this situation, our principal ma'am's feedback helped me a lot. She suggested me to use the different objects what we are using in day-to-day life, so students are able to understand the shape of different objects, because they are bringing so many things in the school. We can easily identify the shapes. For example, tiffin box. Nowadays, tiffin box comes in different shapes. That may be the triangle, circle, or rectangle. Or we give different examples like balls for spear, notebooks, what they are bringing, that is for a rectangle, cylinder, what we are using as a fuel, that is for cylindrical shape, etc. I am usually taking the science classes. So one day, student asked me that what will be the easy process to remember the parts of plant. So I believe in activity-based learning. So first of all, I was taking and giving the students of class 6 everything they need to know about the plants. And then I took and allowed them to work around the garden of our school and visualize the different parts of the plant, as well as the roots and the leaf venation, what they had out. So that after that, This way, this activity, this learning, this way is a perfect way to make them visual and understand the concept of leaf venation and the types of roots which was difficult for them earlier. So after that, while I'm giving any leaf to them, they are easily identify the venation. During the pandemic situation, social media play a vital role in students' life as well as in our life too, because we were using this platform for teaching. So sometimes it acts like a distraction. Before our happily examination, one student asked me, how can I concentrate in my study during the examination? So in this question, I advise them to convert the weakness into strength. I suggested them to use the social media as a platform for study by visualize the videos and searching the things in Google so that they can easily clear their concept not only in science but also in every subject, so that it can increase the understanding regarding the concept rather than memorizing the definition or the concept. As our topic for today is learning from feedback, I am giving one small example. If one black spot is present in my face, I am unable to see my black spot. At the same time, if I am using the mirror, I can easily see my spot. So in this way, feedback is like a mirror. What are the mistakes we did in our life? We can rectify our mistake by using the feedback. As we all are the teacher, we should always ready to receive our fault and take advice from others. Last but not the least, I could not go so far today, only a small step along the way. But when I looked back at the ground, I saw it was a little further down, and I view from all around brighter and clearer. So I told myself each day I would take a step, just a small one, nothing much, just a single step along the way. And I grew tired. I would stop and rest. And that may be the very best I can do today. Thanking you all, Saira.
Beautiful poem, Sister Bharti. Thank you for sharing your experience of how feedback has helped you learn different teaching techniques and has also in turn helped your students learn the concepts better. And also, well said, sister, feedback is like a mirror which tells us where we stand. And so we can take efforts to become better versions of ourselves. Feedback can be from either professional or personal or family circles, but eventually it shapes our complete personality. Pragya, sister, do you agree with this? We would love to hear from your experience on this. Let me take this opportunity to introduce Pragya's sister. She is a caring teacher from Sri Satya Sai Vidya Vihar, Badripada.
Thank you, sister. Thank you, sister. Om Se Sai Ram. It is a matter of immense joy and honor for me to speak about my own experience regarding the feedback system, envisaged by Vidya Vaini and executed by the mentors. As we know, English language is not just a language, but is treated as a skill in India. In an age of internet, though we have several platforms to learn English, Vidyavani's innovative method of teaching develop English communications in teachers through mentorship is highly effective. I will speak from my own experience. When I was about to join the PYF course, I had no idea how things will shape up. The course content was very simple, including the grammar portion. I was a little surprised with the prescribed stories. They were simple stories meant for small children. I couldn't find any logic behind the course structure, but it is only after a few interactive sessions with my mentor I realized that the whole idea was to develop our communication skills through valuable feedback from our mentors. I found that there were many mistakes that I used to overlook conveniently. But my mentor made me aware of those habits, and her constructive feedback made me realize how with little effort I can bring positive changes. Same with the storytelling. The final aspects of storytelling are actually the most vital to make the stories more engaging and interesting. The impact of the story is lost if it is not narrated well. Similarly, a simple story effectively narrated can bring lasting impact and desired learning in children. My mentor's feedback has helped me to become a better storyteller, and I can see the impact in my class. So here I am going to share one experience with you all. Is I am an English teacher, and I am teaching English in standard 7B. I have a student. When she was in standard 6, she kept very less marks in English, even in annual exam. She failed. So when she came to standard 7 in unit 1 also, she secured very less marks. I felt very sad that time. And I have started searching where is the lacuna. So I asked the girl, what is the problem? Why she is getting very less marks? She told me the class is not so interesting. When she told that, I have decided I will change my method of teaching. What I have done, before discussing any chapter, I was telling the students chapter related other stories which I have learned from my PYF classes. And when I was discussing and reading the chapter, I always used the voice modulation. So what happened? The children attracted and they listened to me very sincerely. After a few days, we had our happily exam, and that girl secured good marks, and this time I was very happy about that girl, and I also felt satisfied with my teaching method. Yes, a good feedback plays an important role to build confidence in students. We as teachers often forget that our students are a bundle of raw energy and can learn effectively if they get the right feedback. And we, the teachers, also learn lots of things from our students' feedback. Once again, I am going to share another one experience. So once what happened, I was doing my PYF classes. My son had come to me and disturbing me again and again. When I have told everything to my mentor, she advised me, when you will do the PYF class, you will tell your son, he also sit near you and listen those stories. I have also done the same what my mentor had told me. After a few days, what a great change come within my son. What happened nowadays also, when my son getting any time, he is searching any story in the YouTube, she is telling, Mama, I want to see the Uncle Slime's tale. So I am very happy. Thanks to Vidyavani, I have not only realized that effective communication is a continuous process of learning, I have also realized that a good teacher must learn to give and take good feedback. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. I'm happy I could share my experience regarding the importance of feedback system. Side up.
A good teacher must learn to give and receive good feedback. Very well said, sister. And it's so nice how you were able to use the feedback given by your mentor to use voice modulation. And this in turn has made your class interesting. And also the well-meaning feedback given by your mentor has helped your son take interest in value-based stories, which will definitely help him in life. Love one another and help others to rise to the higher levels. Simply by pouring out love, love is infectious and the greatest healing energy, as taught by our beloved Bhagwan, Sri Satya Sai Baba. So when love is the foundation of our actions and the improvement of oneself or the other person is the motive born out of this unconditional love, then the feedback given will not be judgmental and will definitely be one suffused with positivity. This kind of positive feedback will definitely bring about the IIEP learning that is insightful, inspiring, enjoyable, and participative learning. Unwillingly, we have to end today's satsang because of the time constraint. Let us all join the Mangal Aarti now.
Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Satya Sai Hare Bhakta Jana Samrakshak Bhakta Jana Samrakshak Pati Maheshwara Om Jai Jagadish Hare Shashivadana Shrikara Sarva Pranapati Swami Sarva Pranapati Ashrita Kalpalatika Ashrita Kalpalatika Apagandhava Om Jai Jagadish Hare Mata Pita Guru Daivamu Mariyantayu Nive Swami Mariyantayu Nive Nada Brahma Jagannatha Nada Brahma Jagannatha Nagenda Shayana Om Jai Jagadish Hare Omkara Rupa Ojasvi Ho Sai Mahadeva Satya Sai Mahadeva Mangala Arati Anduko Mangala Arati Anduko Mandala Giridhari Om Jai Jagadish Hare Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadguru Deva Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadguru Deva Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadguru Deva Shanti 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 Samasta Lokaah Sukhino Bhavantu Samasta Lokaah Sukhino Bhavantu Samasta Lokaah Sukhino Bhavantu Shanti 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 Jai Bolo Bhagwan Shri जी की